Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Crypto Market Update. BTC looking okay-ish, let's be real. I mean, it's not amazing. We wicked again into the fast line, the daily fast line, which is part of the TBO, the Trending Breakout indicator. We do have a TBT Bullish Divergences cluster from back over here confirmed on Sunday. This is awesome. I mean, everything about this looks great for a bullish reversal. The only thing to keep in mind is that the last time we saw this setup, something similar to it, we still had a pullback down. We still also have a bear flag. Just so you know, a bear flag looks bullish because we're putting in higher highs and higher lows. But unfortunately, the usual outcome of a bear flag is it loses support, goes back up to test previously lost support, and it goes lower. So just keep in mind that this is still valid. If we see some sort of bullish push up higher for BTC to go above and do basically something like that, cool, then it's not valid anymore. Obviously, it's done, which is great. I'm all for that. But in order for that to happen, a couple of things got to happen. First off, we have this overhead resistance level, which is what I call a resistance fan, drawing from this high on October 6th to this high here on October 28th. Gives me the long-term resistance level that most people are looking at. And then I have the fan, which is this pivot to this pivot. So it gives me incremental resistance levels to watch. Yesterday, we almost had a tease of a test. We didn't actually touch the line, but it's respecting it. So I would call this a test. Now, if we're excited and we're bullish and we think that things are going to go better than they are right now, we need to see Bitcoin cross and close above this line right here. And then it needs to push not just above this, which is only 2%, it needs to push above resistance here, which also happens to be right at 99K, right below $100,000, also at this level here. Like this, it's not impossible, but I'm saying that it's not going to be an easy move. If we look at RSI, it still looks okay. We closed up at 50.57, so we're literally in the neutral zone. There's nothing bullish or bearish about it. It's just neutrally strong, neutrally weak, I guess. We do have an uptrend. The main thing to keep in mind, though, about this bullish reversal is that ever since back over here on Friday the 21st, I'm going to go ahead and just hide the other indicators just to make this super clear about volume. We did have a decent show of volume on the 21st when we went down to 80K. But since then, volume just kind of died down. Usually that's not like a jubilant recovery. We're not seeing people frolicking in the streets like George Costanza frolicking through this forest. Like we're not seeing that type of hype yet. If anything, we're seeing more volume on the dumps, which isn't good. If things are really going to be bullish, we really need to see volume exceed this yellow moving average, which is just a 30 SMA here. And it's not just the case here on Binance. It's also the same thing over on Coinbase. It's the same thing on other exchanges. Bitcoin still has pretty weak volume, but there's a caveat. And the caveat is this: on balance volume is getting extremely close to having a close above it. The last time we got something close to this was on the 10th of November. It tagged it and then we fell lower. Now, I wouldn't be so bold as to say, well, we're going to be trading off of on-balance volume and this alone. That's a little bit crazy. I've never used on-balance volume as a trading indicator in that way where I'm only going to take longs or shorts based off of the crosses above or below. But the point being that if we get a cross above the white moving average, it will flatten out, it will curl up, which is exactly what we want to see. And that means that the blue line should be going up higher. The higher the blue line goes, the more bullish the volume is and the price action is. But if we have more bearish selling with red candles, lots of volume, then we're going to see it go down. We really want to see it cross above. That'll be a really positive sign. There's kind of a weak level of support from back over here in March 2025, just before we had the reversal in April. And you can see a similar story, right? You can see here, let me zoom in a little bit more. On balance volume was bearish. It was trending down. Things were bearish ever since here in February. And then finally, we had all this whipsaw price action. Even though there was a bounce here in terms of volume in March, we know that the market really bottomed in April. There was still another move down. but it made a higher low. But more importantly, the moving average flattened out and then it started to make this elbow joint. We want to see this shape, okay? We want to see that elbow. We don't see an elbow yet. We're just looking at an arm, a limp noodle. We want to see this go like this. And by the time that happens, it'll already be January, if it happens, which is way too late, in my opinion. Just my thoughts. Ethereum is looking fantastic. It's very much ahead of Bitcoin in terms of a lot of factors. For starters, Ethereum closed inside of the daily TBO, the Trending Breakout Indicators cloud, this mass right here. Bitcoin didn't. It closed below. We had a 2.1% close for Ethereum yesterday, and Bitcoin 0.26. If we look at volume was way better. Even though it's below average, it's way stronger. On balance volume had that bullish cross. We're actually seeing the start of this right now. There's no real volume, though, to push it up that high. We're not seeing anything like that yet, but we're starting to see this take shape, which is exciting. I still fully expect and believe Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin in the short term. If we also look at RSI, it didn't make a new high yet, but we know that it made a new high over here on last Wednesday, December 3rd at 64.16. The other previous high here on the 26th of October was 63.93. Whenever we see higher local highs, it is a bullish sign for RSI. That means that this is a much stronger chart. If we look at ETH BTC, yesterday's close was 1.8%. Keep in mind, ETH BTC represents the ratio of Ethereum priced in Bitcoin. So if Ethereum does better than Bitcoin, which is exactly what happened yesterday, then the ETH BTC ratio will close up. We got 1.8%, which is great. I am betting on this horse. I think that ETH BTC will do well, which means that Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin. We've already seen the price of ETH BTC go above overhead resistance. Can I just say for a second, I try so hard not to say ETH BTC. You guys in the comments have literally conditioned me to say things that I don't want to say. ETH. It's ETH BTC. Can we please be honest? I know it's Ethereum. It's ETH. It's ETH. It's ETH. Okay. What is this word? It's death. Okay? Right? That's the same thing. ETH equals death. What's this word? Breath. Okay? It's the same. No, it's not. It's ATH. ETH. 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 It's breath. Okay? It's death. It's chef. Okay? It's like, that's like Mike Tyson saying chest. Chest. All right, I gotta move on. Gotta move on. Great song. Won't you take me to? Yeah, this is my mind this morning. You're welcome to join. It's fun. It's fun being in this head sometimes. So the macro trend here for ETH BTC is still up. It is macro bullish, meaning that the slow line here, which is the slowest of the four moving averages that comprise of the TBO cloud, TBO slow, medium fast, TBO fast line. If this one's pointing up, the macro trend is bullish. If it's pointing down, like it has been for Bitcoin, the macro trend is bearish. So one thing to keep in mind, I still expect this to go higher. I actually expect Ethereum BTC to do well. Look at RSI just moving up and up and up and up. It's clearly started a new uptrend. Now, the level to watch, in my opinion, for ETH BTC is going to be up about here at the 0.04 level. That will be an increase of, I just messed up. No, come on. That's what I want right there. About 20%. From the current price, okay? Now, that's a pretty big increase. This is most likely where we're going to see the market top out if we get any sort of a recovery rally, just so you know, or at least for Ethereum's sake. So I'm not expecting like this huge move where we return to the crazy levels that we saw back over here in 2021 and 2022. Nah, we're not going up to like 0.09. No. Going back over here to stablecoin dominance, we did get a confirmed TBT bearish divergence cluster. So this is not part of the TBO. It's a different indicator. The cluster is basically like a highlighter. It's letting us know that we have more than 3 of these red triangles happening within a 7-bar period. So it's highlighting this because this is a very bearish signal, which is awesome. We want to see combined stablecoin dominance drop like a stone, because when we see a reduction in stablecoin dominance, that means that stablecoins are being used to buy coins. But when we see it pumping, this is basically the equivalent of an increase in fear. You can clearly see October 10th, when we had the massive mega liquidation event, in a single day, stablecoin dominance pumped 26%. From that point, we saw it continue to go higher and higher and higher. We've been in a bearish market ever since this happened. It also is worth pointing out that the slow line for this still is pointing up. It's going to take a big drop to change the macro trend to go bearish. Yes, we could argue without the indicators that we are in, basically we're at a pivot high range, right? We've seen this before. It goes up really high and then it drops. The only thing that's not wrong, but that you're missing the main details about right now is that Bitcoin is almost done with its top year. So right now we're heading into the bottom year, which is 2026. So we're finishing our top year, and then we're going to be going into a bear market. So why am I saying that? The reason why this is a flawed philosophy in terms of, well, we have to see it go down because it's going up. In a bear market, we're going to see stablecoin dominance increase a lot. My target is actually for this to move way higher, up to like 20%, which will be really, really, really painful over the course of next year. But are we due for a short-term recovery? Yes. Did we see those happen back in 2022? We did. Here, I want to show you real quick. So during 2022, we saw, and I'll just go ahead and turn this stuff off for a second, okay? So we saw November 2021. This is when we topped out. It was down here. It was at 3.9%. I want to prove to you guys that it's going to be painful, okay? We saw the market basically bottom out here in June. It moved up from 3% to 16%, okay? During this period of 340% growth for stablecoin dominance, which is basically reflecting a lot of pain, there were moments where we saw pullbacks. There were relief rallies to a degree, short-term relief rally, a little bit longer relief rally here in March to April. But ultimately, things just saw more pain to the upside until finally it tops out. So please hear me. Like, I'm not saying that we're just going to see this go straight to 20% or whatever. And it might not hit 20%. That's just my target, okay? But it's foolish to say, oh, well, it's gone up so high and now we have all these bearish signals, so it has to go down. No, it doesn't. It's going to go up higher, okay? So just know, yes, we're due for a pullback on here, which should equate to a rally, but we aren't guaranteed that. There are no guarantees in trading at all. The other thing that has to happen in order for alts to have a rally is Bitcoin dominance has to fall. Why? Because if the total market cap is allocating funds away from stables and into Bitcoin, and mostly Bitcoin, then alts are missing out. But the truth is that we're still seeing the market allocate towards Ethereum. That's what ETH.D is showing us, Ethereum dominance. Yesterday, it increased by 1.43%. I need to also add a little asterisk here that Ethereum dominance typically reflects price action for Ethereum. So if Ethereum is doing well, which we know it closed up, 2-something% yesterday? 2.1. Ethereum dominance closes up 1.43%. They're pretty closely tied together. But again, what is the macro trend on this chart? The macro trend is up. So if the macro trend is bullish for Ethereum dominance, then that means that just like Ethereum's price, or rather the TBO, we're expecting more price action to move to the top side. Same thing for ETH BTC, it's moving up. So again, Ethereum is the horse that I'm betting on right now, which seems crazy because it's just Ethereum. But you have to also remember that if Ethereum is going to be moving up ahead of Bitcoin, then we're going to see Ethereum lead alts to go higher. And we actually got another bullish confirmation signal yesterday on the total ETH.D chart. This is the crypto total market cap excluding stablecoins represented in a dominance percentage. Word salad? You betcha. So this yellow dot, same thing here as what we got on BTC, right? This is letting us know that there is a bullish divergence cluster. This is getting our attention on purpose. We did see this same thing back over here in March, and we did see it go up, and it still fell. Note during this time, the slow line was starting to go flat. Anytime it's flat, it's bearish, just so you know. So then it started to go lower. What we really want to see to get bullish confirmation is an orange diamond, which is a TBO Close short. That's what I'm waiting for bullish confirmation. These are early signs. I'm excited to see it, but this does not mean, oh, we're going to be pumping right now today. But there are good signs that Ethereum is going to be winning against Bitcoin, okay? I have more charts I want to share with you, but before I do, I need to draw your attention to the description below. Go to thebettertraders.com, check out the Better Traders Club, where you can get access to more updates. You get access actually to my Sunday videos that I film in advance, several days in advance, so you get like a sneak peek. Also, there are weekly market analysis videos that I do once a week that are much longer than what I do here on YouTube, going way more in depth in on-chain metrics and chart analysis and stuff like that. There's also watch lists, which have been crazy lately, especially for December. And you can also check out our courses like 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom. This is a great course to start with, but there's way more at thebettertraders.com. Plus, make sure to check out the links down below for our exchange partners for BYDFi. You can trade and earn up to $10,100 in rewards. And for weeks, I don't know how to say it. I really don't. I need to find out, but I'm too lazy. Deposit 100 USDT and you get 50 USDT back. Whatever it's called, that's a nice bonus. That's pretty great. So you have to use the link down below to get advantage or take advantage of that offer. Okay, awesome. So if you have coins that you're interested in me checking out, leave a comment down below. If I feel like, this one is just, it's not there yet, or like, I don't think this is a good idea, I won't pick it. So just because you leave a comment does not guarantee that I'm going to review the coin or talk positively about it. I'm just going to be sharing my thoughts based off of what I'm seeing with the TBO, TBT divergence, all the other indicators. So I'm not going to be sugarcoating stuff. And I know a lot of us are still waiting on positions. I continue to DCA into my positions, but I'm also super patient. I've done this. I've experienced two major bear markets, 2018, 2022, 2026 is going to be a bear market. You guys will be fine. You'll be fine. Stick with me. You'll be fine. But if you have coins you want me to check out, leave a comment down below, okay? Now, first off, my picks. Mantle on the 4-hour printed a TBO breakout, which is crazy. It's crazy because there's no real price reaction. It's just a single one. But this is really interesting because the last one we saw was way back over here, the beginning of October, after it was already strong bullish, and it pushed up 43% from there. And we saw lots of these on this super strong uptrend. How do I know it's super strong? Look at the slow line. This is the 4-hour. See that angle? So this is wild because we're just getting one of these and not even getting bullish price action, really. So are we seeing a redo like what we saw back over here at 63 cents? I don't really think so, but it's very interesting that it's just printing one. Speaking of, do you remember BDX? So this is what I shared with you guys earlier on Saturday, saying it has one TBO breakout, actually just printed two more in the last 24 hours. Watch this chart. Like it's starting to, flash some fireworks. Okay, FARTCOIN also has two TBO breakouts on the 4-hour time frame. This is very, very interesting because these are printing at such a strange spot. They could be a topping signal because there's already been an explosive move. But at the same time, it's just a 4-hour. We'll probably see some sort of a correction first, but you have to, just look at the 4-hour slow line. See how it's curling up like that? Like that's a strong macro trend, even though it's just a 4-hour, which is far weaker than the daily, which is bearish. It is in bullish consolidation. And bullish consolidation means that we're going to be moving up, but not in a straight line. It's going to be a jagged line. So all these light blue flags here are are highlighting TBO breakouts. Now, these two with orange flags are highlighting TBO close shorts. We have a new TBO close short here for ONDO. It had a weird little pop and also lots of volume here on Bybit, which is very strange. Yesterday evening, in a 4-hour period, 5.2 million, where the average is what? 300,000? That's weird. That's a huge pop of volume with no real reaction. That's a little bit odd, but pay attention to those changes in volume. They tell us a lot. Curve has 5 TBO close shorts in the last 6 days. That's weird too. That's a lot happening there with this chart. It is still strong bearish on the daily, but that's a very interesting bullish reversal signal. SHIB has printed a second TBT Bullish Divergence cluster. That's a pretty big signal. The last time we got one of these TBT Bullish Divergence clusters for SHIB, we saw it bounce up 36%, and this was when the chart was already strong bearish. See how the slow line's pointing down? So we could still get a bullish reversal if you want to wait, which is not a bad idea. Wait for a TBO close short, like back over here on July 9th. But this is a very interesting bullish reversal signal for SHIB. Tau has a TBT bullish divergence. I also saw something from Coin Bureau yesterday saying that Tau has a halving event similar to Bitcoin. So I don't know anything about what's happening with the halving, but there might be increased demand for Tau because of it. We'll see what the market says. No real shift or change in volume yet. It's still bearish, but it is interesting. PEPE has a second TBT bullish divergence and it closed just inside of the cloud. It is macro bearish because the slow line's pointing down, but it is a second TBT bullish divergence there. PUNGU, same story. Pump, same story. FLOKI, same story. Notice that these are all, actually WIF too, these are all meme related. I got a comment from someone maybe last week saying, buddy, read the room. Don't talk about memes. Why? Like, the thing you have to understand is that I don't think the meme narrative will come back at all. But just because the meme narrative won't come back doesn't mean that we just throw them all out and never look at them again. There's still lots of people that are like die hard about memes. There's still memes that are going crazy right now. If you go on like Radium, if you go on Pump Fun, if you go on Moonshot, there are still memes that are pumping like crazy. So we can't discount ones that have actual volume and interest. You can't laugh off something that still has a 30-day moving average of 3.5 million on MEXC. Okay, so it has a TBT bullish divergence cluster. It does not tell us that it has to pump today, but just keep this chart in mind, all right? Zora has another TBT bullish divergence. Now it's made a cluster here. This is one, I mean, the last time it did something like this, it had a really nice push up to resistance. I'm all for that to happen. I don't expect it to happen, but just keep in mind, that's a pretty big signal. Vision, this is weird, okay? Now, I'm not big into this coin or I don't know anything about it, but look at the volume increasing over here. And this exchange is KuCoin. KuCoin. Okay. Look at look at the moving average here of volume, right? The yellow number says what? $192,000 over the last 30 days on average. We got little bumps here, 500,000, 600,000. Then it shoots all the way up to what? 5.4 million. You would expect the price to be absolutely pumping. What did it do? It moved up 3%. But that is representing a big shift in accumulation. Yesterday's volume dropped a lot. Watch this chart. I'm not saying to buy. I'm just saying keep an eye on vision. Okay? Something weird is happening in terms of volume. Comp. TBT bullish divergence over here on the 4-hour. Note that when we got these TBT bearish divergences and a cluster, this is when I was like, guys, I think this one's going to reverse. And it did. It fell about 13%. Now we're getting the bullish side of things. If you want to wait for these guys, the TBO close shorts. By the way, you can get access to these indicators through the Better Traders Club. That's why I shared it with you in that little commercial break that a lot of you skipped through. Link. Link has 4 TBO close longs. The 4th one is in process. You would think with such a cool name that it would be such a great sign, and it kind of looks like the Triforce. It isn't. This is bad. This is a bearish reversal warning, letting us know that if you have an open long position currently, you might want to consider taking some profits out because there's a good chance that we might see a bearish reversal. If it does fall, there is support here at about 1207. Bitcoin Cash, this one had a little bit of a drop from TBO resistance yesterday at 597. I made a big stink about this because this level of resistance has been in place since July 31st, and we've seen so many attacks and pierces and punctures of this, yet the price of Bitcoin Cash can't break above. Not that it will never break above, but you have to admit that's a really strong level of resistance. Now, the positive things to pay attention to, the reason why I think it's worth bringing up this chart again, look at volume. The moving average for volume continues to go up higher. Even though there are gaps, focus on the direction of this yellow line. If we look at on-balance volume, same story. Volume is bullish and is showing us bullish momentum. Even though the price is being capped just under a very suspicious number of $600, does not mean that it dumps from here. If, in fact, we could actually see this pump up a lot higher, but you have to watch volume. If volume starts to die down, back up the truck. Zcash. This is one that I said to you guys way back over here. Oh, we got our first green candle. I think we're going to see a nice reversal. And it's taken some time, but finally, after 6 days, a nice 38% move and a touch to the TBO fast line. If you took this trade, I would love to hear about it in the comments if you actually got this. I know someone in the club did. So hats off to you. Good job. So now that it's tagged the TBO fast line, now we have to pump the brakes to pause. Can it go up higher? Sure. But this is already a big move from support down here, not down here, down here to support all the way up to the TBO fast line is a big move. Now, in the 4-hour time frame, we had these TBT Bullish Divergences, which also gave me confidence to share it with you guys. It had a great move, but it's bearish on the 4-hour. It's bearish in bearish consolidation on the daily. Also, you have to realize that volume is still bearish on the daily. So is on-balance volume. It might feel good. There are no guarantees that Zcash is going to keep going up higher on the weekly time frame. Yes, it's bouncing. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If it goes anywhere close up to $600, I would be looking for a short position because the reality is that this chart drops down to about $20 every single bear market. It did in 2018, all the way down here to 1720. Here in 2021, it fell down to 1581. It moved up to a total of 730 or so. That is a huge drop. Please don't drink the Kool-Aid. Please, please, please. ENA. This one still struggles to push above overhead resistance. When it does, it should have a very, very, very happy day, a very positive move. It's still holding weekly support right now. I'm just waiting for volume to pick up. We do have a bullish cross in terms of on-balance volume. The moving average is still heading down. I'm just waiting for this to pop through. That's it. Dash had a very nice pop up yesterday. We had these TBT Bullish Divergences last Thursday and Friday. Even though the price dropped and went against us, we got a response. And look, it's actually a test of overhead resistance, which is hilarious on the 4-hour. We still have these TBO Close longs, which are letting us know, well, the bullish trend over here is probably coming to an end. Yeah, it's right. And volume also is not picking up wildly. So keep in mind, this is still a bearish chart. But we might get a push above overhead resistance. And if that happens, then the next level to watch is the 382 Fibonacci level. Okay, now on to your requests. I got a comment from someone asking about Mina, saying that they have DCA'd into a position on Mina and they can't execute any more funds. How do you exit on this? Well, the way that I do it is actually incrementally. I don't have it prepared. Let me see if I can actually, I'm going to give you some hope with this. I just have to find the chart on, here we go. Just give me a quick second. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I want to help you guys because sometimes I just take really terrible trades on purpose to show you guys that you can exit. Okay, give me a quick second. I have to go over here. It's going to be black for a second. Boom, there we go. So we're looking here at all trading. Okay, I love Altrady. It's awesome. One of the reasons I like it is because you can see all of your trading activity on the chart, and you can do lots of fun stuff, and you can see your average that's done over time, right? So I entered here for a quick little push up higher. I like scalping like this. I also don't mind buying the dip and buying the dip again. So this is actually a pretty awful trade, but it goes to show a point that I'm actually able to exit in the green, which is hilarious given how bad this entry was here. But again, sometimes I just like a challenge. I don't know why I make it hard on myself. But the main thing is that you can see here, I have the same thing that this guy is asking about. I have a terrible entry. Okay, really, really, really bad. I want this to be white, please. Thank you. Then I have my DCA. This is my first DCA 1. Then I have DCA 2. DCA means that I'm going to be adding twice as much here and then twice as much there. So that means if I'm going to be doing 1 here, then this is 2. Come on. 2, and then this is 4 down here. Whatever it's going to be, if you're going to do actual proper DCA, you need to use this martingale approach because it works the best. Why? Because this is my entry. But look now at my break even and my average entry, okay? My break even is way down here, 10% below where I initially entered. That's only possible because I bought the dip. I got lucky with a fat finger here, and I also sold when I was not in profit. This is something that's a little bit trickier, and sometimes it helps, sometimes it bites you in the butt. But to be honest, the other thing you have to consider when it comes to DCA is de-risking your position, which means that you're selling on every bounce, even if you are in a downtrend. It might not feel good to sell on these bounces, but you can see here, I sold on this bounce and I had an order to buy and I didn't get that chance to buy. If it falls down, I'm going to be buying again. Why? Because every time I'm able to buy lower and sell on every bounce that happens, even if I'm selling at a little bit of a loss, and if I go over to my position right over here, you can see that I'm actually, my realized P&L is at a loss of $40. So right now I'm only net positive about negative $15. I don't care about that because my plan is to actually sell on one more pop up higher. So if this chart zig falls again, the reason why I sell on these little bounces, even at a minor loss, is it frees up my capital, especially if you are not used to DCAing. I DCA first here, then I DCA a lot more here. So I want to remove some of this capital that I bought on a good bounce that happens. Check this out. So this move here to here, that's a nice 7% move. And up here selling more, that's a 10% move. While you might be selling at a loss, by freeing up that capital that you use to buy way down here, you average down, you free up capital to basically do the same thing again. I did not get the chance to buy more here. I wish I did, because then I would sell more here on this bounce. But you get the concept, the idea. This is what I teach, by the way. Again, not trying to beat a horse to death, although they are yummy. The 15 Minutes Financial Freedom course, I talk about this a lot more. All right. This is really, 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 really helpful stuff. So to the anonymous caller who is stuck in MENA, what I would do if I were you, and you are not me and I am not you, so this is hypothetical, but what I would do is that any sort of bounce that goes up higher, and again, I'm not looking to take profit right here at resistance at 1973, fantastic year. But I'm not looking to do this. I'm looking at like any bounce that comes my way, I'm going to de-risk the position. Like back over here, if you're buying on the dip and you're down 30%, the chances are you're going to get some sort of bounce up higher. Cool. Sell a little bit on the first bounce like this, buy on the dip. Sell more on the bounce, buy on the dip. Do as much as you can of buying and selling over and over. It will be work. Okay. This is also where the TBO makes it awesome because you have targets. You have the TBO fast line. You also have support that's telling you where things are. But anyway, the idea is that you sell and you want to de-risk not as much as you can. I wouldn't do more than half. That's how I trade on any first bounce that you get. I'm giving away too much, so you guys better like this video to death, like a horse. Hedera hash graph. It's Nothing really's changed. It's at support. Again, the problem right now, quote unquote, is that Bitcoin dominance and stablecoin dominance have to fall together. If they are both going up, we're not going to see H-bar, Crow, Sui, Say, or anything like that look good. Crow is still in a good setup, just like it was back over here. The last time it did something like this, it had these really big pumps. I expect the same. But there's no rush. The moment where it finally printed this to where it broke out, 127 days. It's basically 4 months. From this to this, 115 days, 3 months. There's no rush. Be patient. Sui, we do have a TBT Bullish Divergence here. There's just no volume. It needs to close inside of the cloud. If it does, that'll be awesome. And hold inside of the cloud is great, but it's macro bearish. Say, similar story, except it hasn't even tagged the fast line yet, even though it's at good support. Kaito, I like the volume. It's actually kind of weird what's happening here with volume. It's incrementally lower, but someone's buying. And I don't know why, but something really interesting is happening. Usually this is a sign of accumulation, even on the price going down lower and lower and lower. But we are getting pumps. These are also like for our guest caller, our mystery caller for Mina. If you enter in here, DCAing, selling some on the bounce, DCAing again, selling some on the bounce. The idea is that you want to put your average entry, which used to be up here, lower and lower and lower and lower. Your break even goes lower and lower every time you sell and you rebuy on those dips. Aave is in bullish consolidation, which is awesome. This chart is awful for trading. I will say it takes forever, but the next target is up here at the 0.618. H, someone is asking, how low can this go? So much lower. These charts can go way lower, not just here, 45%, not just here. They can go a lot lower. I don't care about the tech. I don't care who the founder is. I really don't. Now, the problem with charts like this that lose support and just dump and dump and dump, people are trying to buy the dip over and over and over, and you're not waiting for confirmation of a bottom. This could be considered confirmation. I would much rather wait for a close short because this is probably going to chop a lot. See this right here that's happening with price action? See this? This is giving false security. The moment that this breaks, it's going to go lower. Just wait for confirmation. Coal AI. This one has been great for trading in a sideways range. This is 8% with leverage. That's pretty nice. Even without leverage, that's pretty fun. It's good for trading. It's nice and choppy, especially on a faster time frame. It's just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. Camino, TBO breakouts on the 4-hour, but it's a real choppy chart. It does have a confirmed open long above the cloud, which is good on OKX. There is TBO resistance here at 0.08642. So it's a 36% move. That's nice. Last time I did that from support up there, I mean, that's a pretty good move. So doing basically a repeat because it fell back to support on the 21st of November. So that would be the next target to watch. Pay AI. This actually has a better chart. The crypto chart. Come on. This one, where it shows us a lot more of the history of this chart. So it's really weird because it has these moments of consolidation and all of a sudden there's a pump. Probably a listing. But we don't have volume on this, which is no good. But it just looks bad. I don't really see, I'm not really like excited about this chart personally. I don't see a reason why I'd want to trade it. But you do you. AVAX, nothing really changing. It's still strong bearish. We got some tags of the fast line, which always give us our entry for a short position. The main thing we need to see is a big shift in volume and on balance volume, which is starting to happen, but now we need to see it move up higher, which should move the moving average up higher. API 3, this one is right at support. It's really similar to SNX. So if it loses support, it's going to dump a lot lower. Be real careful. And last but not least, Pokemon. Monad over here had a good move yesterday, up 9% or so. The hype for Monad is done. Personally speaking, like I don't see any desire. I don't see people talking about it anymore. Volume is exceeding the 4-hour moving average, but it's just the 4-hour. Yes, we have a TBT Bullish Divergence. It'll most likely revisit support down here at 2 cents before doing anything else. And if it does, be careful because that's the start of a euthanasia coaster, right? Lower high, lower high. lower high until, but be careful, okay? Great. So keep an eye on dominance levels. I still expect Ethereum to outperform BTC. We need to see some clear bearish signs here for stablecoin dominance, but we need to see a lot more to the downside. All right. So before you go, watch this video to see how you can use alt trading. Like that chart I shared, again, terrible entry, but I'm still able to make profit with it. Watch this video to learn how I made $200 in a day trading crypto without leverage on the spot market. Watch this. Until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.